The VIPs are finally here. The games are getting more intense. There are less and less players standing to win the grand prize. The 7th episode is going to be great. It begins with 16 players, including Mi-Nyeo, whose failure to find a partner for the marble game meant she was simply allowed to sit out the game, and not including the husband whose wife died during the marble game, who hangs himself from one of the bunk beds, having to endure another high-stakes game high in the air. This time, though, the long-awaited VIPs have finally arrived to see all of our contestants play and gamble some money on who's going to win it. So, yeah, the nature of the much-awaited VIPs is revealed in this episode. Simply described, they're a group of high rollers dressed in bejeweled animal masks who trade off color remarks and chuckle at the players' misadventures. They're largely American, but not entirely. They lounge in silk robes and kimonos, surrounded by living statues of naked, body-painted men and women. They stake millions of dollars on who will live and who will die. One of these wealthy oddballs makes the mistake of sexually pestering undercover detective Gi-hun, who disguises himself as a masked waiter in order to get closer to the VIP activity. When the man threatens to kill Gi-hun if he doesn't heed his demands, the cop entices him into a private room, where he reverses the power dynamic by drawing a revolver and demanding the now naked man to reveal everything he knows about the games while Gi-hun films him on his phone. Thank goodness he had completely charged it before leaving for the island. Indeed, the episode finishes with the frontman, who exchanges eyes with Gi-hun shortly before fleeing the island, leading a search party on a boat, pursuing the stolen diving apparatus the cop is using to flee the island. We don't think things are looking good for Gi-hun long-term now that the frontman and his minions have located the dead body on which Gi-hun laid his police credentials and now know his name and other data. The remaining players are compelled to choose numbered jerseys that will decide their playing order in the following game before learning what that game is. A dual bridge composed of glass panels has been built by the game masters. Some are tempered and can support the weight of up to 2 players at once. Others are simply ordinary glass. If you tread on one of these, you will fall to your death. The emotional stakes are also significantly smaller than in the marble game. It's just a matter of chance in this case. The first players to attempt to cross the bridge are basically doomed, as it is statistically impossible for them to choose the correct pane of glass to tread on all the way across. The players at the back of the line, our hero, Gi-hun, is dead last, followed by Sae-Byeok and Sang-woo. The gangster Deok-soo and his nemesis Mi-Nyeo are somewhere in the middle, become increasingly frantic and urging the players in front of them to pick up the pace and just jump already as the game's time clock ticks down. Of course, the vast majority of the players do not make it. This features contestant number 244, a religious contender whose prayers have gone unanswered. It also contains Deok-soo and, perhaps surprisingly and perhaps less persuasively, Mi-Nyeo, who chooses to commit suicide in order to kill Deok-soo. Sure, she promised to kill Deok-soo if he ever betrayed her, which he did literally 5 minutes after she said it. But she is a woman who had just gotten an unbelievable break when she was given a pass for the marble game. Why would she want to die right now? Is it only to punish Deok-soo? What good is it if you're not around to appreciate it? It's one of the few decisions made by this incredibly well-crafted drama that we don't agree with. Be that as it may, we are left with 3 survivors, who happen to be the final 3 players to cross the bridge. Sang-woo, who pushes a fellow to his death in order to test the remaining panes of glass. Sae-Byeok, whose advice helps a temporarily paralyzed Gi-hun to cross, and Gi-hun himself. We seriously doubt that all 3 of them will make it to the finish, especially given Sang-woo's nearly complete heel turn in this episode. While this episode answers certain questions, others remain unanswered. Who is the mystery host in the sparkly owl mask who, much to the disappointment of the VIPs, fails to meet them? Will the VIPs take part in any way in the final game, or will they remain spectators? Why are there 2 episodes left if there is only 1 game left? Will Gi-hun and Sae-Byeok escape with what's left of their souls intact? Sang-woo may be a lost cause, but will Gi-hun and Sae-Byeok? Thanks for watching and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this.